Oh my goodness. It's been a while since I've done that. Thank you, Honeybug. I'm no longer muted. Good evening and welcome, everybody. Hello, Meep. Hello, Z. Hey, Pink Honeybug. Hello, Vampire. Yeah, this is going to be a bit of a different one. I think this will be fun. For the Make Literally Anything Jam, which I'm sure you are all aware of. Oh, thank you. Oh, I'm sorry it's in the background. Maybe I can put these in front. Maybe I can put this in front. Hold on. Here you go. Oh my goodness, cool. I'm a huge Steely Dan fan. Anyway, tonight is gonna be... yeah, a little different. Oh my goodness! Hello! We're just getting started here. Welcome in, Happy Toaster. Thank you so much for the raid. What were you up to, and how's your day going? Okay. Yeah, my project is like not quite what I was expecting to try at first, but anyway, yeah. Welcome in, toasters, toasterinos, however you refer to yourselves. I mean, I'm among your ranks. Splinter, Dragon Quest 1-ish. Interesting. Well, welcome in. I'm Gert. I'm a space slug, and tonight I'm working on stuff for Holly Heckmaybe's Make Literally Anything Jam, where you just need to freaking make something. The theme is secret technique. And this has been rattling around in my head. The theme was announced, earlier this week? I forget when. And nothing was coming to me. But I have recently talked about... hello, Chris. Welcome in. I've talked recently about wanting to do some streams like documenting the grid system that I use on stream, or like some basic typography techniques and foundational knowledge that could benefit just about anybody. So I kind of thought maybe this is a little egotistical of me, but I have some secret techniques and I'm going to share them. So I'm going to completely improvise this. I have some loose ideas of like what I want to throw down here. But I'm just going to kind of freestyle it and see what we come up with, and then I'm going to continue to polish this through the end. But the goal is to share something that would be easily digestible and pragmatic for just about anybody, whether you are a creative professional or not. I have a very strong belief that like a foundational knowledge of typography is hugely beneficial for literally like anybody, everybody. And there are ways that some basic like design thinking can apply in all sorts of places. So I'm not trying to be on my design high horse here, but I don't know. Hopefully people can benefit and learn from this stuff. Did I put a link to the game jam in here? No. Here we go. I started to populate this file. I like to use Figma. I use Figma professionally, and it's a great tool. So I just pulled over. I set up some basic stuff here. I'm really just gonna ramble, but feel free to ask questions. I'm also gonna switch over to a different playlist that will not appear on the VOD. So if you're hearing this live, the music is exclusive to the live listeners. There we go. Thank you for another mystical sphere. Okay. I'm just going to be minding the audio levels. Let me know how this is. You have an idea for the jam? Aha. Yeah, basically my approach is I don't want to say the S word, but I play music through Spotify that will not go into the VOD. Okay, what crazy movie? Can you give me a little description? Because if you can help me narrow it down, I'm sure I can identify it. If you want to go the extra mile and you give me a timestamp from the VOD, I can tell you definitively. But there aren't that many movies that are in there. Oh, holding up a cannon? That was probably Zyrom. Oh, that was almost certainly, yeah, that has to be Zyrom. That is a fun movie, and there's like an animated spin-off, and there's multiple sequels. Oh yeah, definitely worth a watch. It's just a really fun time. Anyway, okay, so right now I'm not going to go like, it's not like I'm giving you a typography lesson. I'm just kind of setting up an outline for what I might want to use. But I think I'm actually going to start with the grid system stuff because that's like a little more mindless and straightforward. So I use a 30 pixel grid with a 15 pixel like subgrid because that is nice and divisible for a 1920 by 1080. Also, sorry if any of this text is probably not super readable. But yeah, so I have some screens from my layouts. Like this is nothing fancy. If I turn on my pixel grid, you can kind of see how everything fits together. So this is, I wanted to just set up like a quick framework for the main areas that I've kind of blocked out. So I have like 45 pixels that's like dedicated to chat. Honestly, I might play Turf Masters. There's a chance, but I don't want to promise anything. But speaking of, like, here's Turf Masters. I have a couple different variations for games. And I've tried to set this up to be a really flexible system. So like I'm basically using the full vertical height that I can here. Sometimes this stuff doesn't align perfectly to the grid, but like if you look at this sidebar, whoop. Excuse me. I think I have, let's see. Oh yeah, for like a 16:9 layout. Let's see. So I don't know. I always have the logo in the same spot, except for, you know, when there's a reasonable exception. but then that also creates like a nice column area that I can work with. Mm. Yeah, so I really like using Figma specific. Well, first of all, I'm very comfortable in it, so like I work in it all day. Um, but it's so much easier for me to like try things out compared to working directly in OBS. Okay, so like in this case, I've got this, yeah, this like 330 wide column, which is the same column width as the one that was floating over here. So you can almost think about this layout as like an optional column here. I mean, if I combine these, I gotta color code this stuff. Right now I'm literally just blocking this stuff in, and this will be helpful for just my general stream usage. So like those are optional sidebars, and then we've got these two. Nope, nope, nope. That's not the best illustration, but like that's kind of the three different common aspect ratios and how they fit in this grid system. I think these need to sit. Sometimes selecting the right object is a pain. Okay. Yeah, I got to figure out a better way to make this more clear. This does not read like very well right now, but that's fine. That's for later. And then depending, like there's a spot for a camera there, or I could put the camera up here if it's more like a 16:9. And then I have the other modular element of a cat cam, which is really just a big oval. And I kind of position this like per scene if I want to. I can like let it, be a little bit free. But this can just kind of like fill space. Yeah, very important to have a cat cam. What am I doing? And like you could have guessed it, but this is my core color palette for like GERT in general. I have this built as a component in a Figma file, so if I make any changes to it, or like I can go to my main component over in this file and peek under the curtain a little bit, behind the curtain. Oh, do you know about my new hat? I never really did anything with this. Except that URL does work, gertsnewhat.com. Anyway, yeah, I have one mega Figma file that has, you can see over here on the left, or maybe you can, like all my emotes and game-specific layouts and treatments, or like controller overlays and but yeah, this is like a core component along with, the different logo components. I have some separate, like a separate element. I can export this as a PNG that has like a shadow and highlight if I want to be able to give myself a little more flexibility in a certain layout. You can like layer this on top of another logo layer that has like an effect applied or something. Putting hats on enemies, that's excellent. Yeah, I agree. And here's the original Gerploid. It's actually extremely rough. But there he is. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so in terms of grid system, like this setup has worked really well for me. This is gonna be nice. Okay, here we go. Let me find a better color so that we can actually differentiate these. Oh, I guess that helps. And I can also, so I'm basically using like a base 15 system. So even for things like quarter radius and stuff, I can do like 5, 15. It doesn't really matter. But I do think a lot about how, like, not going too small with the text. This is not, I mean, some of this is pushing the limit. This text here, this cave, 1997. If you look at it on mobile, I try to keep it like above that threshold. I try not to go any smaller than that. One thing I do, okay, maybe I'll start to take some notes over here. I know sense breaks are very important. I'll come back to this. I just don't want to lose that thought. Does the Cave 2013 not put hats on enemies? Mm. I guess theoretically this should be matching the full height, but you know, there's like little optical adjustments. Sometimes things aren't always mathematically correct. Oh, it's that screen. That's right. I think I need to do, yeah, something. Yeah, sorry if this is just like complete nonsense gibberish. Well, you can see my layers over on the left. I'm not concerned with like naming my layers right now. I'm just trying to kind of set up a basic framework where I can show some of the basic like layout possibilities. Hello, Gardrek. Welcome in. Yeah, I think I will probably switch over to typography shortly. I'm just talking about like the grid system that I use for this stream. Um, do I need one? I mean, what I use on stream, I'm pretty happy with. But do you do type design? Why is that misbehaving? Oh, I did something weird. Never mind. Okay, I'm gonna pull in. I have some reference that I created in the past, but this is still like new and generative. A Gerploid font would be nice. Actually, I like that. Okay, I'm gonna pull in some stuff that I've made previously, but I'm gonna like not sure how I'll incorporate this. I'm just gonna drop a few things in real quick. The legendary deeds. Oh, very cool. Feel free to share a link to it if you would like. I think like okay, this stuff. Well, I guess I can zoom in so you can actually see while I'm pasting things. Sorry. I'm just looking if anything else is relevant in here. No, this is fine for now. Okay, so anyway, I used to teach a typography class, and this was like day one slides that I had made, let's say a time ago. So this is still relevant, but this is not what I like intend to focus on. But I want to find a way to maybe include this as just like some baseline useful stuff. So I'm just gonna tuck this under. Let's make a new one for this actually. Basics. Okay, so I guess what I'm not trying to be exhaustive about this. I want to really just kind of share some little tidbits. And I'm not working with any particular type scale or hierarchy right now. I'm gonna just wing it. Um, All right, wonderful. Thank you for linking it. Oh yeah, this looks lovely. Let me pull it in here. Legendary deeds. I like the quote you have here as well. Were there any particularly tricky letters that you kind of went back and forth on, or? Oh, and good morning, Jam. Good morning. I need some text. I need like some text to work with. If anybody has a nomination for some text, lowercase v and w. Oh, cool. Transcripts of nonsense technobabble YouTube videos. I like that. Yeah, when you have, I mean, how the E is still just 5 pixels tall. So you I guess you guaranteed need to use up like 2 pixels for those serifs. I'm using Figma, Figma, Figma. I like this a lot. You can run it in a web browser. You can run it on like just about anything, including an iPad. Like not natively, but there's a yeah, and everybody has to say Figma balls. Oh my goodness, Goopy VT. Hello, welcome in. Good evening to you. Thank you for the raid. How are you doing? What were you up to? And welcome, followers of Goopy. Yeah, me. I'm not like creating new layouts right now. I'm trying to create a resource that others could use to kind of inform their own streams. Random games on a wheel. Excellent. Any highlights? Oh no. Joan Rico, I hope your stomach feels better soon. Okay, I found it. Oh, I'm sorry. This is a pet peeve. Give me the M dash. Come on, man. No, I'll leave this on auto. Whatever the auto is. It means well, but okay, maybe I should actually talk about what I'm doing. Um, this is pretty basic stuff, but it's super pragmatic. And like, if you're ever trying to make, and this doesn't have to be paragraphs of text, it could be just like 2 lines of text in a stream layout or something. I'm not saying this is the perfect. I might tune it like, I don't know, 150 is pretty good. The smaller the text gets, you know, the denser it becomes. You need like a little more breathing room. So you can immediately make your text more readable by doing that. Of course, you can push it too far, and you know, then it starts to fall apart, especially if your line length is too long and you get all the way down here, your eye has to travel so far. It's cruel. Be kind to the eyes of your readers. But yeah, it's fun to play around with these variables and like flex a certain block of text and kind of feel out like what's the right line length. Let's see. Is there maybe there's a good quote in here. Oh wow, Garfield on the Sega. Yeah, that sounds rough. Sense breaks are one of my favorite things. It's like so damn simple, and I think people do this already, like naturally. I don't know if this is the right piece of text for it, but let's just like make this a little chonkier. I want about this much. No, I want actually less text. I'm gonna find a little thing real quick. Okay, I'm going to latest books on Project Gutenberg, and let's see what nonsense we might find. I'm going to pick something random here. Here we go. Oh, no, not that one. Bear with me. How about the River of Stars? I think this could work. Okay, this is going to sound so obvious, but there are really key factors when you're balancing a paragraph of text. Let's get this out of here. Your line length is, you know, a basic variable, but you might not have control over that. And then, of course, the size of the text and the space between the lines is an important variable. Um, but like where you break these lines, if you have the luxury of putting in manual line breaks, it works like so nicely to clarify your text. So you can see, I think this shows the difference actually. This happened to be like a very relevant example. You may not always have the luxury to do this, but like when you have the opportunity, finding like a logical point. I mean, this happened to be all punctuation. Maybe that's cheating. But it doesn't have to be like at a punctuation. I need, let's go back to this Will Wright article. He seems to love to talk. Here's what I'm looking at. Oh, whoops. What am I doing? What do I want to do with this? I don't know. I'm just looking for another example. I think what I need is actually maybe some a game box art where there's like a multi-line tagline or something. Yeah, I don't know. I might have to, I'll just take some notes on this. Like, this is really relevant in like short kind of marketing sort of phrases. Oops. Nope. Do I mean, there's a whole thing in here that could be like Gestalt principles, but I feel like that's covered well elsewhere. Maybe I can just find a couple resources that would be relevant. And then this will be Oh, legendary deeds, you're still in here. Thank you for sharing that. I know that the maker tools for the Playdate include like a way to make a nice pixel font that's compatible with the Playdate. I've thought about just doing that as like a fun exercise. But yeah, I designed a I've designed a couple, not fully well executed, but I should get back to it. It's fun. Yeah, I have the Playdate and I never play it, but I do like it. I enjoy looking at it. It is pleasant. Every now and then new games come out and I'll try them out for a day and then it just sits on my shelf. I'm looking at it right now. It is cool though. Like, and seriously, the tools that they made are really interesting. Where is it? Pulp. That's right. It's called Pulp. And everybody loves to crank it. Yeah, these are just Gestalt principles, but I mean, these are the key. Like, do I really need to illustrate this stuff? Blah, blah. I mean, yeah, you kind of get it. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to organize this later. This band is absolutely bonkers. Dissolve. Highly recommend. Actually, check out their YouTube channel, which I will link in a moment. They have some nice like live performances that are well recorded. Official Dissolve 8698. I don't know what that number could indicate. They were born between the years of 86 and 98. That's plausible. But yeah, this song specifically, Heart of the World, very spicy. They're just making, you know, some fine fusion. Okay, we don't need this. We don't need this. I think maybe it's actually this. This I can just scale down. Oh man, I definitely have this in. Okay, I'm gonna take a look here. I have something documented for this already that I can use. And I think I'll like just clean up my old slides and just make those available. Oh, I guess this is also a fun. I'm sure a lot of you can do this already. I think it's a great party trick. You test people and see if they can tell the difference between Helvetica and Arial. I find that the documentation can be kind of meditative, but yeah, overall, not so much. I'm going to pop a few of these in just because if you just kind of train your eye to look for like some of these specific details, you can tell like every time. It's not technically, it's not like mathematically a constant line width. Yeah, there's it's all like for optical adjustment. But hello Taveshi, welcome in. I'm organizing and pulling together. Oh, here's a fun one. If you ever see a capital Q, if it's a wiggly Q, then it's Arial. But in general, if you look at any of the terminals, like the ends of the letters, if they're flat, like perfectly parallel or, you know, vertical or horizontal, then it's Helvetica. If they're at a little bit of an angle, like for example on the C here, if it's at like a little bit of an angle, then it's Arial. It's like they made all these little micro changes so that it mathematically is the same width as Helvetica, but they made these little changes so that it's not, you know, infringement. So if you see a little spur on the G, and this is one that is an easy giveaway, the T, the top of the T, if it's angled, that's Arial. So now, yeah, if you look at it here, maybe you can also see. Actually, I think somebody has done something like that where it like jumbles them up. It's really funny. Well, heck, okay, I'll talk briefly about this stuff. This is like typography 101 sort of things. Like, what are these different parts of the letter called? And maybe you know these, maybe you don't, but like, you know, you got your arm, a bowl, a serif, stem, blah, 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 and like baseline and a descender and an ascender. Basically, Arial was made so that Microsoft didn't have to pay the licensing fee for Helvetica. They wanted to use Helvetica in, I think it was like in Windows, like early Windows. I could be wrong, but basically Helvetica was like very standard. And they're like, well, we'll just make our own Helvetica for cheaper. And now it's like the most, you know, ubiquitous font file cruising all around the galaxy. God, I feel like I'm going to sound insufferable if I talk about this too much. But maybe you know, maybe you don't. If you want to be like all correct about it, the typeface is like the artistic concept of the whole family, and the family is all of the individual fonts, and one font is one style within that family belonging to that typeface. And you know what? It really doesn't matter. You can say whatever you want. I'm not trying to police this. But it's more like, you know, sometimes it's nice to be able to be really specific with your language and like swim around in the world of jargon. So same thing, like italic versus oblique. You know, with italic, usually the letter form is fundamentally changed a little bit more. This 2-story A becomes a 1-story A, single story A. The oblique is just the upright one, but leaning. Let me see here. So I think I'm going to just like take notes on a couple resources. I'm just kind of plopping my way through this. Oh yeah, the elements of typographic style, Robert Bringhurst, is like absolutely essential. I mean, yeah, nobody's policing it. Like, you can name it whatever you want. Whoops. I'm just looking to get a... This book has such a fun aspect ratio as well. Great book. There's also Ellen Lupton, Thinking with Type. This is actually the book that I recommend to most people. I don't know what version they're up to. I don't think it actually matters. I don't think I'm often in a position to recommend type books, mostly because I think most people don't care. But if you want any recommendations, I've got them. I also really like, I haven't reread this in a while, maybe I should. The Laws of Simplicity by John Maeda. I don't know what he's up to these days, but he was a very interesting digital artist and then became like the president of RISD, famous design school, art and design school in Rhode Island. Favorite typeface, by the way. I don't have like just one, but I really enjoy Whitney Sabon, which I don't have installed locally. I like Univair, especially the italic. Franklin Gothic. I'll just put these over here. I mean, Frutiger in general, like his Adrian Frutiger. But if we're talking like Google fonts, Rubik is the one that I use for like all of my stream branding. It's fantastic. IBM Plex, the whole family. There's like Sans, Serif, Amano. I really like Fira Sans and Code. If you want a Franklin Gothic, we've got Libre Franklin, which is a really nice match. That's what I use for all the branding for my DJ side project, Dig This. I wish it would show me, let's see. Oh, here's my installed by me. I didn't have this here before. Elements of typographic style? That shouldn't be expensive. I thought that was like still in print. I think Fira Code does have ligatures. Yeah, I would just look into a used copy, or honestly, get a digital copy. Okay, I don't have anything really notable installed here. Trade Gothic is nice though. I do like Trade Gothic. Oh no, I only have, yeah, some of those. Oh, that does remind me. What's it called? Oh, Din Next. Din Next is, I mean, Din in general is great, but I just pull in a nice image. This gives you enough of a sense. You've probably seen this before. um, let's just yeah, I mean, the oblique italic thing is not like a hard and fast rule at all. Let me think here. I know there's some like really obvious ones that I'm not thinking of. I know I go over to grid systems. I'll just set up a recommended resources for grid systems as well, which is Joseph Mueller-Brockman. Grid systems in graphic design. This is like the book. Oh, I don't know how to type an umlaut on Windows. So yeah, for grid system in my context, or at least for the purposes here, is like the system that I have in place to organize my different stream layouts. So there's like certain, like I have an overall grid, and then it's broken into like subgrids or different chunks that can be combined in like a modular way. You know what? I don't need. What am I doing here? I might as well do a little polishing while I'm doing this. Where do oh bulleted list? Whoops. Bloop bloop. Okay, I'm not even looking at the grid, which I probably should do for positioning of some of this stuff, but I'll sweat that later, like I said. Oh, here's a okay. I'm gonna just throw these in for fun. You can just guess to yourself which one of these is Helvetica and which one is Arial. Whoa, that's too big. Yeah, 100%. The top is Arial. You can tell from these slightly angled terminals. Oh, I have a really, well, some of these are super easy. But it's like once you know what you're looking for, I think this is also an easy one. Legendary Deeds is specifically based on 8 pixels or less tall. So you do have some exceptions, you mean? But yeah, that's a fun and tricky constraint. Like basically doing a letter shorter than 5 pixels is really tough. Well, for some letters, like the E. The E you need 5 spaces. Like this. Oh yeah, that makes sense. If you go taller for things like brackets. But yeah, here the top is also Arial. The R, if you see this sad limp arm on the R, like I truly despise this thing. This thing is disgusting. In fact, I'm going to just cover it up. We're not going to look at it. You can have one more look at it. Like, it's just, it's like nobody would intentionally make that decision unless you were trying to make it different enough for copyright reasons. Anyway, we'll cover that up. Get out of there. And yeah, it's like a single typeface could be totally ruined by just one letter that looks wrong. Although often you get alternates, so I don't know if this typeface has it. Rubik here. Rare ligatures? No. Yeah, sometimes there's an option for like a single story A. I'll show you. So by default, it's a 2-story, but you can enable a single story if you want the ball and stick version, I guess. Yeah, I know. I was delighted when the Papyrus sketch first came out. I remember it. It's true, but like having an awareness of this stuff, I'm so biased, so you can believe me or not, but like it's really helpful. Everybody needs to like deal with typography pretty much daily. You need to use it to like communicate with other people. And so it's just ways to kind of communicate more clearly or with more intention. I don't know. Hello, Bachelor. Welcome in. Oh man. Well, I'm glad to hear that this is useful. I feel like this kind of thing would be fun to do more ongoing. I mean, I'm really just kind of regurgitating other resources, but there's a lot of good stuff out there. I'm gonna just like walk over and look at my shelf for a second. I know I'm forgetting some obvious books I want to add in here real quick. Just one moment. Okay, let's see. I mean, I think at this point, like, I feel like there's pretty good. Well, no, I shouldn't say this. I exist in a bubble. I'm very biased. I was gonna say I feel like there is pretty broad awareness of like the power. Oh, whoops. Meep, I did not mean to delete your message. If you just got a notice about that, I clumsily pinned your chat message by accident. If you were confused by that, I'm so sorry. I completely fudge clicked it, and there's no way to like undo that. I guess that's very strange. It's from like minutes ago. Anyway, two other books: Designing Design by Kenya Hara. It's a fun one. Whoops. No, we want this. And oh, Signs and Symbols by Adrian Frutiger. Their design and meaning. Whoops, meant to do 120%. No, we want like 130. Yeah, that's good. But honestly, my number one, actually, for anybody who's like new to typography and wants to get into it, Thinking with Type. Oh, and also Stop Stealing Sheep, of course, by Eric Spiekermann. Oh no, you're right. You're right, Bug. God damn it. Stop Stealing Sheep and Find Out How Type Works by Eric Spiekermann. Excellent book. Like, really, really excellent book. I get away with that. Yeah, that's fine.
Bingo.
Oh. Thank you for the follow. Oh, yeah, yeah. That's a good point. Thinking with Type by Ellen Lupton. Stop Stealing Sheep and Find Out How Type Works by Eric Spiekermann. The Elements of Typographic Style by Robert Bringhurst. The Laws of Simplicity by John Maeda. Designing Design, Kenya Hara. And Signs and Symbols, Their Design and Meaning by Adrian Frutiger. Honestly, Signs and Symbols is a little bit of a stretch, and so is Designing Design. Like, these last three are not typography specific, but they are design specific, and I think they're relevant. Oh my god, yeah, for a subscript or superscript? Yeah, that seems like a real challenge. Okay, I'll add the other covers later, that's fine. We'll get these out of here. But yeah, the other nice thing about putting this whole thing together is like it's oh god, I fall back on jargony speech, but it's like evergreen content. It's evergreen content. It's always going to be green. But more than anything, it's like, oh, now I have something I can just share with somebody really easily. 4 pixels tall, damn. Yeah, so is it, oh wait, 4 pixels. Did you do that? Yeah, that's so weird. That pricing, like, I would say find a used copy. Don't worry about getting the latest revision. It's like just foundational, like relevant, I think useful information. 4 pixel X height. Yeah, gotcha. Oh, okay. That's fine. I was just guessing. Let's switch over to grid systems and let me actually. I'm just going to copy some text that contains the umlaut. Also, I got to think about other grid specific resources. There's not something else that like immediately comes to mind. Weirdly. I don't know. Is it weird? Okay. So now here you can see this is a 1920 by 1080 artboard. I hope it's visible enough. Try to make it a little bigger. I'll put this in the background. In fact, maybe I'll go darker with it. Okay, I did duplicate this. Lock this layer. What did I do? 3. I thought they were 330. Okay, what I need to figure out is, oh yeah, this is it with 2. No, even this isn't quite right. I didn't do the math on this, frankly, and that's fine. Because it's really more like these 2 kind of floating containers. Is it gonna work? It didn't work. It really didn't work? I'm sorry. Let me get those on manually. Thank you for the sunglasses. Oh, thank you for the image. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh, that E is great. That's a lovely E. I like the lowercase a as well. And that X. Yeah, that's a nice solution. Capital. Oh wait, let me put this in here so people can see what I'm talking about. Yeah, the way you can do these nice strong slab serifs, those feel really nice. I really like that capital R and like the capital Q. The M also is like a very powerful M. The N is very nice. Yeah, like look at this guy. That's a character right there. This is a strong beast. Powerful beast. The lowercase a, yeah. It's crazy. If you take this like just out of context. Look at that. Look at that thing. Yeah, nice work. Very nice work. Let me make sure I have that link open for later. Yes, I do. Okay. Well, yes, yes. And you know, that's part of the challenge I think of designing a pixel font. Is like how do you make it different enough that you're not just recreating the same solution that every other pixel font artist designer has done. Hello, Galuda. Welcome in. I'm just documenting some of my secret techniques. Oh, and thank you for the follow. Yeah, so normally I play a lot of shmups. I play driving and racing games, retro of all varieties, weird indie games. But tonight it's a little different. I'm organizing my thoughts for this game jam. So I guess really what I actually want to show here is more like, sorry. We don't need the stroke. Oh yeah, I have a separate, or I'm going to make a separate page for components, which I find useful. Just throw a cog in here. Screens, put an eyeball. Oh yeah, yeah, Taveshi, like just changing the typeface can make such a difference and also make it like certain, you know, if you have some control over like the line length and the sizing and stuff, that can really affect, you know, your experience. Oh, this is an annoying thing in Figma. Sometimes you end up on like a fraction of a pixel and it gets really persnickety about it. Anyway, I just want to illustrate that like, yeah, this makes for a really, oh, I can do that. Of course, of course. Yeah, exactly. The serifs give you a chance to like inject a little more personality, a little more flavor. Okay, these are going to multiply. Yeah, that's fine. I'm like waffling on how I want to represent this stuff. I don't know if this is quite right. But I think showing the layout like this for oh, whoops. Wow, okay. That's fine. This is that's me. I'm this rounded rectangle. I guess I'll put a block in here for like okay, yeah, I'm going to make this sorry, I'm flaking on this. Oh, I know what I could do. There we go. That's much better. We'll just put a little drop shadow on there. It's perfect. I think there's an opportunity for a rectangular VTuber. No, one line. It's silly to break that onto two lines. Actually, a cell phone cover is not a bad idea. I don't know who would buy that, but that would be a fun thing to produce like a one-off or something. What opacity? 50? 50 seems a little harsh, a little light. Okay, now here, this is a little strong. I'm gonna bump down the grid. Okay. This is starting to become something that's like fairly readable. Rectangular leftovers. Yeah. Oh yeah, let's get those sandwiches going. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so I think the key is here's like our vertical shmup, and now here's what 16:9 looks like. If I can select it. Selecting the right layer is such a pain. No, maybe paste in the right spot. There we go. Okay, oh, this logo is actually shorter. Or it's really like, it's like on a half grid. So then in this case, like the secondary column over here gets used. I can put the hand cam up here. Or no, I have the game info and then the hand cam. The other thing I've done is like try to ensure that I don't have to change my size between, oh sorry, let me fix this. I think that's a better. And actually, there's something not quite right about this. Oh, that's no good. I'm gonna just leave it at that. That's already a stretch. Actually, let's make this a component. Oops. Rectangert. Does that work? I don't know. Gurktangle. Yeah. Gurtangle. Oh yeah, and there's a third one which is 4:3, which is roughly this. I gotta finesse it. Get out of there. Get over here. The nice thing. Oh, did I accidentally make it wider? No, that's the same width. Is this the same width? Oh. Hold on, I gotta cross-reference this. I think I messed up. The logo itself is not that wide. Oh yeah, the logo is teeny tiny. Yeah, it's more like that. I don't know about the right labels for these. I'll worry about that later. Info. I guess I should make, God, I should make a component out of this. So this is grid element. Oh, why is it doing this? I want it to be 60 exact. Okay, cool. Okay. So yeah, honestly, this is it. Like, these are all the layouts that I use basically. I don't know if you can see them that clearly. And then sometimes they're just variations. So if I switch over, well, okay, let me boot up MAME. You can see. Okay, so yeah, there you can see that. And if we transition back, oh man, that's so tiny. That's so tiny. It's so hard to see. I forgot how small it would appear on the stream. The other nice thing about Figma though is that I can share like a public link to this file so that you can go in here, you can like save it, you could download it, you could modify it. And so that's very much like the spirit of what I'm trying to do. Okay, I'm pretty happy with this. I think I'm kind of reaching a stopping point for right now. Oh, I guess the thing I didn't note was like the chat. I do reserve like the bottom, I guess about 30 pixels or 45. I'm using Figma, which is the design software that I use like professionally, and I like it a lot. It's a great tool for organizing like digital design. Not good for print, sadly, but oh yeah, I forgot. So I have this kind of clumsy big grid system. Did want to at least subgroup these into vertical and horizontal lines. But these are just every 30. Okay, yeah, I don't have the subgrid shown here. But yeah, you can make a free account with Figma and do a fair amount. I do pay for it, and I find it's extremely worth it for me. For like, I use this to organize all my personal projects. Figma and Notion are like the two kind of core tools that I use for just about everything. And then stuff like Procreate. Oh, I wanted to just pull this over Because yeah, there are some like secondary layouts that are maybe worth noting. So in this case, you can see this one does fall like right on the grid. This text is just one big column there. And then yeah, we have, I mean, you can treat this as like one big column. You got a tertiary element sitting on the grid. It's just everything is just chunked out. Chunk, chunk, chunk. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of reaching a mental stopping point for the moment. I think I got some good baseline stuff in here. I guess maybe let me just think for a moment about maybe Gestalt principles, because I have some existing slides that might be easy enough to repurpose. Yeah, this is nothing special. But yeah, so I didn't spend any time on this, but like doing some kind of little secret technique mark was something I want to come back to. Okay. Yeah, you know what? It's almost midnight here. I'm pretty sleepy. I think I have to skip on playing golf or something else at this point. But thank you all for being here. I'm going to continue this. Let me think about this. I think I'll continue this tomorrow, but I will also play some Neo Turf Masters. Yeah, in the meantime, I don't know. Check out, I guess I'll zoom in again. This is readable enough. No, not you. Oh yeah, here's what I can do. Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh, this is better. I can do a... How about that? Oh, there we go. There we go. I could do like a proper slideshow here. Oh, that's kind of cool. I'll have to mess with this some more. But yeah, these are by far like, you can't go wrong. But the first two books, if you have any interest in going deeper in typography, like either of those two books will be really great for you. Thinking with Type and Stop Stealing Sheep. I'm going to try to continue to develop this a little more. We'll see how much I have time for before the end of the jam, but I'll probably continue this because I'm trying to set up a framework that could be like extensible and maybe add other secret techniques that could be useful for people. Not that too many of these are actually secret. But yep. Oh, look at that. I have the I left the grid turned on this scene. And also it's not showing the... Huh. That's an OBS thing for me to worry about later. It's all good. But yeah, I do have a layer in OBS where I can just turn on my grid and make sure that like things are aligning. And it's very handy because it means I don't have to think. Oh yeah, I do have a link to the jam. Here it is. The egg is +3 -4. But yeah, I hope you all have sweet dreams of grid systems. I do every night. Okay, Bug. Yeah, I'm sorry. my brain is, you know. Who's live? Several people are live. I know Code Channel. Code is raising money for Trans Lifeline right now, doing a retro roulette. So I would encourage you all to go and donate to Trans Lifeline. It looks like Depths is currently playing a Beavis and Butthead game for the Genesis as part of the Genesis wheel. Altasmith is playing Pokemon Unbound. There are other people streaming other things. I think we'll send it over to Code in support of the fundraiser for Trans Lifeline. I'm just gonna do all my things here. I've got a little pin for sale. I've got a Discord. Maybe I should do this like not at the very end of the stream. Anyway, I hope everybody has a great night. I should be back again tomorrow night, doing a little more of this, some golf, maybe some other things.